What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Darnell Report. My name is Nate Darnell, and as you can see, we are out here in the Washington swamp. It's a hot day out here, but we're going to go around and ask people, how they've been affected by inflation and high gas prices, and we're going to ask them a few other things. And you guys aren't used to seeing videos like this. My other Darnell Reports were kind of like sit-down talk shows, but kind of moving on from that, we're going to start doing like some street interviews and get some, street content. But if you guys are new here, please hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video. I would really appreciate it. So, let's just go around and talk to some people. What was your name?
Brian Wozniak from the Detroit area.
Brian from Detroit. All right. So, I was just asking, how has, inflation and high gas prices affected you and your family?
Well, I'm on this long trip. I've been to Harrisonburg and some other places, so I'm putting on a few miles. So it's costing a few bucks, and I'm feeling the actual inflation at work when I get fill up my tank.
My main question out here today is just asking people how inflation and high gas prices has been affecting you personally, or if you have children, how grocery stores and stuff like that.
Actually, it hasn't affected us too much because of COVID. We aren't really traveling much, so the cars aren't getting used as much.
So I was just asking people how inflation and how high gas prices has infected their lives day to day.
Oh, it's been very impactful. You kind of pick and choose your daily routine, where you're going. Everything is itemized because everything is high right now. So it's very important to just be socially responsible and be frugal with your spending.
Yeah, gas is about like $5 around here, so it's definitely killing people. But do you agree with giving like $40 billion to Ukraine while we at home are struggling and being beaten by all this inflation?
Well, I guess my issue with that is I spent 7 years in Ukraine. So I understand a bit what's going on there. I understand what atheistic communism is and what it does. And Putin and many Russians have said, we're not stopping here. So there's more to than just the country of Ukraine, what's going on.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. So they keep putting all these sanctions on Russia and trying to intimidate them, but at the same time, we're still buying oil from Russia. Do you see that as bad optics? Because it's definitely shows us how weak we are.
Politics, and all that goes with that. It's amazing, and just trying to follow that and make sense of it. Difficult to do.
What was your name?
Adib.
Adib.
Yes.
Okay, and so what he's been walking around talking about. What were you saying? Kind of like. So are you Muslim, or what is your religion?
I was born Muslim, but I was born in this country, so I got to experience all religions. I was raised with Christianity, with Jewish, I was raised with a lot of people, so I was blessed to be born in this country and have that experience.
Okay, so you're Muslim. You don't think Jesus is God or the Christ?
No, I think Jesus was a man, and we believe that he was they say he was, like some people say, Christians say he was God. We believe that he was a prophet. Being born in this country gave me another light to between Muslim and Christianity and experience in this world. And there's a lot of great people here in this world, that were, walking with Jesus.
A few weeks ago, baby formula was hard to find and stuff like that. Are you in favor of breastfeeding? Because I know the media was telling people not to breastfeed.
Absolutely, I did it for 13 months.
So you're part of Suckle Gang?
I never heard it put that way. But sure.
Yeah, Suckle Gang is people who are pro breastfeed. So.
Oh, it's the best thing to do for children. But on the other hand, this formula was the only type of food that certain kids could consume. So it was very important. And just saying just breastfeed doesn't fit all circumstances.
Are you in favor of kind of how we're getting so much money away, the government, to other countries and stuff, and we're suffering here at home? How do you feel about that?
Well, you know what? I haven't done much research on that, so I don't want to speak from ignorance, but, you got to take care of home first. You build from the inside out. I mean, that should be common sense without any research being required.
Yeah, I'm definitely big into America first. So yeah, I'm just not a big fan of like giving money to, 40 billion to like Ukraine.
Absolutely.
While we're here suffering. And a few weeks ago, like baby formula was hard to find. So, because I know down south where like the illegal immigration, they're like giving baby formula and giving them money and all that. And like just up here, we're struggling. So how do you?
Oh, that makes zero sense. Like I said, you have to take care of home first. You build from the inside out. So we can't help others unless we're helping ourselves. So it's kind of backwards to see money going out when we don't have money coming in. It's all bureaucracy. We need to keep this bipartisanship out of the conversation and just focus more on the people, because that's what matters most.
Amen. I'm here with Rick, right?
Yes.
He's pro-choice, and so as we were just talking about, he is anti-gun. So you're completely anti-owning guns.
Yes. I don't think no American should own a gun unless you're a farmer or a hunter. I mean, that's the only way you're going to actually own a gun.
What about?
I don't think you should own a gun because you're going to hunt people.
So you don't support, like self-defense and stuff like that? Because more people are actually saved by guns than people are killed by guns. That's a true stat.
Yes.
I'm not trying to stump anybody. I'm just trying to talk about this.
Yeah. I want the facts about that, and I don't believe that's a true statement.
Well, it is a true statement, but
That's an opinionated statement.
I mean, you can look it up on your own, but yeah, that's true. So I noticed you had a shirt on. It says, what does it say?
It says, "Stop killing our kids now."
Okay, and are you in favor of taking guns or gun control? Like, what is your?
Well,
How far
I'm going
from taking
to
guns are
the
you?
march on Saturday, and they are not necessarily in favor of taking away everybody's guns, but of having sensible laws about assault weapons and things like that. Personally, I could do without any guns anywhere, anytime.
So you have a husband? He doesn't own any guns or anything, or
Absolutely not. I wouldn't have a husband who owned guns. I would
Why not?
be dead today if one of my old boyfriends had still had his guns and other weapons in the house.
so you're completely anti-gun, completely, or like you think police and military only, or how do you feel with citizens owning guns?
Well, I feel that I do not think that the interpretation of the Second Amendment gives individuals the right to guns. It says that we can arm our military, not individuals. So I personally deeply disagree with the Supreme Court decision on that. On the other hand, I have shotguns. I'm familiar with them.
So you do own a shotgun?
No, I didn't
Oh.
say that. I have shot guns, but I've never owned one. I'm 81.
How do you feel about gun control, or because my opinion, I think it's more mental illness and mental health that's a big contributor to shootings. So how do you feel about that?
No, I agree 100%. I heard one comedian say a long time ago, and this isn't a funny subject matter, but guns don't kill people. Stupid people with guns kill people. So it starts again in the homes. What are we teaching our children? If your child is suffering from any type of bullying or anti-depression, the last thing they need is a rifle in their hand or a gun in their hand. Maybe they need some more affection, more attention, more understanding, a talk. But it's totally about the individual and the message being sent to these kids today.
Amen. Yeah, it's definitely missing fathers and moms not taking care of their kids. A big thing I've noticed is kids nowadays, they're raised by school or like daycare. There's not really like parents in the home, so that's definitely a big.
Oh, that's a big problem. It takes a village to raise a child, so we all have to do our part, regardless if there's one parent, two parents. If we do it for terrorism, we need to do it for our children. If you see something, say something. If you see a child struggling, or being bullied, or not being inclusive or included, in group activities, then we need to step in and do something.
Yes. According to Moms That Demand Action, which is a group I'm with,
Do you want to come in here?
we found out today that guns are the leading cause of childhood death.
Well, childhood death, the leading cause is actually abortion.
That is a lie.
No, it is true.
Stop talking to him and then.
We're done.
Okay. So they're out here, they're pro-choice, and they said the leading cause of childhood death is gun violence, but the leading cause of childhood death is actually abortion, and they are pro-choice. So it's just a little ironic. They care about children, that are shot in schools, but they don't care about children that are pulled apart in the womb. So it's a little ironic, and just classic liberalism. Doesn't add up, doesn't make sense. And interview got cut short because she told the guy to stop talking to me, but I don't know. They've been out here for weeks. I've seen these people actually multiple times, but it's just sad that, their logic is so twisted that they care about childhood death and they blame guns, but the leading cause of childhood death is abortion, and they're pro-choice. So a little ironic, doesn't really make much sense. But do you agree with like mental illness being a lead contributor to like school shootings and like crime in bad neighborhoods? Or
No. I think the main cause is the easy access to weapons that no human should have access to, like assault weapons. They're only made to kill massive numbers of human beings, so why should they exist in regular society? The military, that's another discussion, but
so you you don't agree with like the founding fathers making it so citizens can arm themselves and so they can protect themselves against like tyrannical government? You don't agree with that?
I was a history teacher for 27 years. I know a lot about the Constitution. I taught government for many, many years, and that is not what the founding fathers said.
Well, if you look at like history, like Hitler took the guns, Stalin took the guns, Mao Zedong took the guns, and then after that, society just goes downhill. So you don't.
That's not really true. You don't know very much about China and Russia.
Well, I know.
People were highly armed in those countries. They didn't take the guns away from people. They armed people, turned them into armies, armed the People's Army of China.
Well, in
China.
Instead of the 1700s, Britain disarmed the citizens of America, and then that's how they're easily controlled. They're easily able to control them.
I think that people are easily controlled by fear, and that most of the guns in this country are here to make certain people wealthy. They have nothing to do with protecting people. Or why would we have 19 children and 2 teachers massacred by a weapon that no 18-year-old should have access to? I don't think anybody should. And I am on a little time schedule.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I appreciate the time. It was good meeting you.
Thank you. And I would shake your hand, but I've got to be very careful with COVID because
and we believe Jesus lived on this earth and never left us. So.
Okay. Yeah. I'm Christian, so I believe Jesus is God. But what were you saying about your daughters? You were saying?
Oh, my daughters. A few months ago, they were murdered or kidnapped and murdered and slaughtered and by Palestinian people. The cops didn't help me. I've had called detectives, homicide, and everybody, and I got no help from them. I have evidence, pictures of them, of these Palestinians doing that, and right afterward 19 children died. I'm upset because I believe that witchcraft was like, they did witchcraft and it was a consciousness. Witchcraft is not real, it's just a consciousness. But why did the cops let them do that and do nothing about it and let them get away, and afterward 19 children died?
Yeah, we definitely have a broken justice system. A lot of real crimes aren't investigated, like government corruption and stuff like that. But you went to the police, or what did you say to them?
Well, I called the police. I've been calling different precincts and everything, trying to get information to find out who those girls were in the picture, because I found some pictures of something and I had evidence that was, they tried to say they slaughtered them like lamb, and they were meat. And I showed them, I was like, that's a girl, you guys. I could see their hands, I could see their feet, I could see their body. It was a girl that was slaughtered, looked like lamb, and they tried to say it was a lamb. And I have evidence. I tried telling the police. They wouldn't tell me who the girl was missing, which girl was missing, who it was that I seen. They wouldn't give me no information. I find out it's my daughter that I seen. I found out that somebody kidnapped my daughter, and that's what happened. I'm very, very hurt, very sad. Right afterward, Sandy Hook happened, 19 children died, and the cops didn't do nothing about it.
So you do you live around here? DC?
Yes.
Yeah, you're aware of like, sex trafficking and,
Human trafficking.
politicians drinking blood. That's called a conspiracy theory on the media, but it's real,
It is real.
So,
They have arranged marriages.
oh, yeah.
They have
Like-
incest.
Yeah, like Nancy Pelosi is family members with Newsom in California, stuff like that. And you aware that they a lot of the sex trafficking is done by the elites in DC, like underground tunnels and adrenochrome.
Queen Elizabeth, they used to do that back in the day. Queen Elizabeth, they're marrying like that. That's how they married. They just now started opening up and expanding for everybody. You know what I mean? Yes, it's true. They have incest, arranged marriages, underage marriage. What else?
Like a lot of the Epstein stuff, a lot of people that went to Epstein Island and on the list were all like, politicians, and Hollywood's super corrupt. It's all ran by the same people, especially the White House. I mean, are you lean left or right in politics?
No, I'm the man that's right in the middle, the straight man.
Some moderate.
Okay. Yes.
You support Joe Biden, because right now inflation's super high, the border's wide open. How do you feel?
We love Joe Biden. Everybody loves Joe Biden. The problem is people are ruining him, and they're giving him a hard time, and they're doing all this to him and putting all this on Joe Biden. I think it's wrong because Joe Biden is a good guy, and we love him a lot.
Well, he's also involved in a lot of the sex trafficking and weird Pizzagate. You ever look up that Pizzagate and all that? Yeah, it's a pizza shop in D.C. where they would, children and do things like that to children. Obama was involved. Hillary was involved. Joe Biden's the same. They're all the same. They're all, they may look good on TV, but they're all the same. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Joe Biden is definitely a pretty terrible person.
I know how Joe Biden is. He's probably like, or the Democratic Party is all the way left. So I understand their point of view is all the way left is because these gun laws that are going on, sex trafficking and all these are through the Constitution and through amendments, and they made these amendments like the Second Amendment, these gun laws. They're having trouble taking care of these gun laws when really the problem is the Second Amendment.
You disagree with the Second Amendment?
Yes.
You don't like guns?
I don't like guns, and that's the problem. And they're over here working hard, all this stuff about gun laws and this and that, when their problem is the Second Amendment was made during a war. We're not in war no more.
Well, in like 1700s, they made, a constitution was because, Britain came and disarmed the citizens, and then, Britain easily controlled the Americans. So you're completely anti-gun. You don't think anybody should own a gun?
I'm saying that's where the Democrats are at.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Their left side,
yeah. They're
right
anti-gun.
there.
Yeah.
Yes, they're anti-government. They don't want no government. They want zero government. They want them up here, stay out of everybody's business. Let the government do their job. Everybody stay out of the government.
Yeah. Well, Democrats, they want bigger. They want like super powerful government. The right, they want less government. But a lot of the shootings and gun violence, it's mostly from like mental illness and stuff like that. It's not really the gun's fault. It's more, because I could kill someone with a rock. It wouldn't be the rock's fault, So it's mostly like mental illness and stuff. Do you agree or?
Yes. I believe it's the mental illness, the medication they're given. They're not helping the people. They're giving them too much medication that makes them zombied out.
Yeah. Nowadays, I mean, teenagers are all on like Adderall and ADHD medicine, and especially this.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, the recent shooting at the school, it was actually been done by a transgender. So I mean, that alone, that's mental illness in itself. So
Right.
So I mean, the best way to stop gun violence is mostly control first of all the family. Get fathers back in the family, and stop pushing mental illness. Because you look at like TikTok and like all these social medias, the young generation, they're so dark and like demonic, and it's definitely an evil spirit that possesses them.
You're right, 100% right. Like you said, the family, they need their family. That's the best support they have, and that's what they need. They need the support, the family support, to be their mother, father, to be there, and not for them not to be ignored. Don't ignore them.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. What was your name again?
Adib.
Adib.
Yeah.
Nate.
Nate.